Good morning, families. I thought I would share a video as if I were a student and logging into your first module. We've had various questions, and I'm hoping maybe this might solve many of them. So I'm sharing my screen with you, and you can see I am on the Google page. This is the Chrome browser page. And I look over here and see that, yes, I am signed in as myself with my right email. Then I'm going to go to the Accelerate platform. If you get a screen that looks like this, that says that you are logged out or that says submit a ticket or something like that, you can simply click the close and the login page will come back on. So I'm going to log in now. It'll pop up and I'm going to log in using my school Gmail address, just like you would for your child. It's being slow this morning, just like me. All right, so it's signing me in. So I have a choice to look at it as a teacher or a student, but yours is going to come up to say student. And so I'm going to choose student too. I also can see the kindergarten assignment and the first grade assignment. You're going to see whichever assignment your child is in. I'm going to click on kindergarten for us to look at. All right, and immediately it shows me all of the different things that are here. Here is module A. This is where you start, very first thing. This is learning coaches. If you click on this learning coach, it will show you what all is coming up. It'll show you your responsibilities. You may want to make sure that you go all the way down to the bottom. This is where some of you are asking questions. This is where you can click through to the next slide. So this tells you a sample of how you can spend your time during the day, and that's all it is a sample. You can find out what works best for your family, how to set up your physical space. So this is all about information for coaches. All right, up here at the top, I can go back to the previous page to access the modules. All right, so here, well, I think I have to go one more. I have to go back one more. There we go. So now I'm going to go to module 1. All right, module 1 is letter A activities. That's what they call all of these activities are module 1. So for instance, 1.1 might be the module that you work on Monday, 1.2 Tuesday. Here's 1.2, so you would want to make sure you did both of those on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Of course, as you finish one module, if you have more time and would like to go to the next one, you may do that. So I'm going to click here, and it will open it up. And I'm just going to follow the directions as they come up. A is for alligator. Click on the letter A to hear the sound. Ah, very good. Now I have to go all the way down. Here's a video to see. I see A. Click here to see your video. If your video is too small to see, you can click inside of this to make it as big as your screen.
It's time to talk about the letter A.
And then when you have finished, you can click your exit button to go back to the regular size. After you've watched the whole video, click all the way down, scroll all the way down again to the bottom, and you're going to go to the next page. All right, this is a sample of a way that you can do a word wall. A word wall is simply what it sounds like. You would have a letter of the alphabet, a page for each of the alphabet letters, A, B, C, and then space to add words to it. This could be a notebook. This could be actual cards that you fill out and stick up on a wall somewhere. That's how they have done it here. I'm going to click here so you can see the bigger picture. All right. They have A, B, C, and then underneath words that they have added. This is probably a classroom wall. Here's another way that you could do it, a little bit of a space saver. This one is also putting pictures under. And then you have some other choices here, which probably would work for you at home. You can do some cards. You can do index cards for each of the letters. And every time your child learns a new word with the ah sound, you would put that in their ah file that they have here. And here's just one more. Now you might want to have a notebook that has a page for each of the alphabet in it, and that's where they're going to put their words or put their pictures. You can decide at home what would work best in your environment. All right, again, it says A, what sound does the letter make? Your child can click here to hear what this sentence is asking.
What sound does the letter A make?
And so they're going to say ah. And then you click here,
Ah.
and it will tell them. Then we're going to scroll down and click again. Here is the story with the I See story. Some of you were asking where you access this story, all right? Click the book to begin reading, and then you're going to click at the edge of the page to click through to every page of the book. You can listen and read along with the story, or just listen and hear each page. Here is I see. I see alligators.
I see alligators.
And then I'm going to move over here and give a click, and it will turn the page.
I see apples.
I see apples. You could have their child repeat it after they've listened to it.
I see airplanes.
I see airplanes, and then click again. You continue to do that until you get all the way to the end of the story. And then again, scroll down to the bottom so that you can click through. This is showing you different ways to teach your child how to hold their pencil. This may seem silly, but it is not. Learning to hold your pencil the correct way when you are starting to learn to write is very important, because it is very hard to learn the correct way after you have learned a different way. Here's one way to explain it to them. It's like making the OK symbol, where you put your thumb and your pointer finger together, and then your other three fingers are like the wings of a bird, and your little bird that you're making with your hand is going to grasp the pencil to write. Another way, and here it will read through this with you and with them if you want to hear it read aloud. Another way is the simple rhyme. I really like this way because they are addressing the fingers on your hand. It shows left-handed and right-handed. Thumb and tall man, that's your middle finger. Thumb and tall man side by side. So you put them side by side. And pointer, lazy pointer takes a ride. And this is the finger, of course, that is on top of the pencil when you're grasping it and writing. Now, it offers a cute way if you are crafty or would like to do this with your child. You could also make a puppet out of an old sock so that they can make the puppet hold the pencil, but you do not have to do that. These are all just reminders of how it's best to hold your pencil when you're writing. All right. Then this says, click the button below to download the handwriting page for this lesson and then print and practice your handwriting. This is important. You do not have to have a printer in order to do this. There is a page in your workbook for them to practice their printing, and you can do that there. You do not have to worry about downloading. Now, if you have a printer at your house and you would like to download so that they have extra practice, that's completely fine, but it is not necessary. You can use the page that's in your workbook. All right, I want to call attention to this side over here where it says Learning Coach and where it says Table of Contents. When you click over here at any time in the lesson, the Learning Coach, it will take you again to tell you exactly what you're going to be seeing and what you're going to need to have before you ever get started. This is what your children are going to do. All right. And here it shows you the table of contents. So if you want to go back and read something again, or if you want to go over the phonics again or hear the story again, this is where you can click to go straight to that page. Right? Once you have read through everything and watched all of those videos, you're going to come down here and mark the activity as complete. Let me see if I can do it without pulling up my screen. There you go. Right down there, you're going to mark the activity as complete. And then up here, you're going to click to go to the very next part, 1.2. Here it is. 1.2 looks just like 1.1 when you first start, and that is okay. We have to do a lot of repetition when we're learning. In this lesson, we're going to learn about the letter A. You can click it. You can hear the sound again. Here's a little different. We're going to start some sight words. These are words that your children know when they see them. That's why we call them sight words. And they start with small words and get bigger and bigger the older that they get. So this says download these flashcards and print and cut them out and add them to your word wall. Again, in the back of your workbook are a set of these words that you can cut out. You can also just write them on a piece of paper or a index card or anything like that that you might have. You do not have to download and print. And the 3 words they're going to work on this week are I, see, and big. So when you click, this will read the instructions to you. Make sure that you scroll all the way to the bottom and then go to the next page. And you come across your first game. We're going to match the 3 sight words. In this game, you will match your sight words to the correct picture. If you click here where it says directions, that's exactly what it is. And I would recommend going through the directions before you begin any of the games. It will tell you exactly how to play it. And after you've listened and seen how to play, then you may go back and do the begin to begin playing the game. When you have completed the game, again, scroll down so that you can click over. Here is another game, Find the Sound. Again, I would listen to the directions and then come back and begin the game. So there's no question about what you need to do. You can listen to the directions more than one time if you need to. Now, here is story time. Here is the story I see. This is the same story that you read in Module 1 or that you listened to in 1.1. Again, you may listen to it here, and you're going to click to open it. And you're going to click the pages to read through, just like you did in the previous assignment. After you've finished reading the whole story, scroll down and click over. Now watch the video to learn how to retell the story. This is how your child is going to retell the story, how they learn about settings and characters in different ways by retelling the story. So please watch this whole video before you start. Then on this page, it's time to retell the story. This says click the download button to open the retell page to help you know what to share. That page is also in your workbook. You could also download it here just to read it from your computer, and you do not have to print it out if you would rather do that. When you're ready, click the button to retell the story to your teacher. And here is the button. You're going to click record. You can click stop if you want to stop for a minute and then record again, or you can record more than one time if you want to, and they're going to retell me the story of what they read in I see. I see apples, I see airplanes, all of the story that you saw. And once that's complete, you're going to turn it in here. This activity is complete. Then you're going to go up and click the arrow to go to the next one. What happened in the story? Now it's your turn to tell your teacher everything you can remember from the story. Think about the 5-finger retell, which is what you learned in the video in the previous module. Let it guide you, and after you have finished recording, upload it so that your teacher can see it. So here is where you would do that. You would submit your work. You're going to click right here. Let me make sure I'm telling you the right way. Oh, view rubric. Now this is a word that just means how do we decide if you've done this correctly? What we're going to be looking for, I'm going to look for story elements. Did your child share the story? Did your child say, there were lots of different things that started with an A in this story. We saw apples, we saw airplanes, we saw astronauts. Now, there might not be a problem or a solution in this story, and that's okay. You can skip over that part if it doesn't apply to the story that you're retelling. All right. Was it correct? Did they talk about the things that were in the book? How many details did they get? So if your child just says, I saw apples, that's not as many details as a child saying, we saw many words that start with the A sound, ah, and then tell some of the words. And if you don't have to remind them, that can even be an extra point, and that is okay. They probably do need reminding at this point in the year, and I would remind them if they were in the classroom. So please feel free to help them remember how to do that. So here, after you have recorded here, right down here, you can add your comments if you have things you want to tell me about how that session went or about how the work is going. And once you're finished, you can click here to submit your work. And go back up to the next module, 1.3. Oh, be hands-on. Let's use our hands to practice the sight words. Write all of the letter A and all of your sight words in the air with your finger, and then fly around while you read them. So this is connecting movement to learning, which is very important for lots of children. So they could get up and they could pretend to be flying around while they say each of the words. They could clap when they say each word. They could stand up and sit back down when they say each word. It's a great thing to connect movement to words that they're learning because that stimulates memory. All right, click the download button for the handwriting page. Again, you do not have to download it here. It is in your workbook. All right, watch the video for a rhyming session. So you're going to play the video and listen for the rhymes. Now it's time to play a game. To see how to play, click the directions button. To play the game, click begin. Again, just like the games we played previously, there are directions and then there's a button to begin the game. Please watch the directions so you will know how to play. It's time for you to read. Don't forget to fill out your reading logs. Your reading log is in the very back of your workbook. Right now, anything that you read with your child or that your child reads with you or to you counts as their reading time. We want to build up to the child spending at least 20 minutes a day in a book. Either you are reading to them, or they are looking through the book and retelling the story to you, or they are attempting to recognize some of the words in the story. If you're in first grade, You may, in your first grade module, you may be reading a little more than the children that are just beginning in kindergarten, and that is completely appropriate. All right. After you've recorded your reading session, you can mark this activity complete. Right now, your reading can be any book or newspaper or magazine that you have at your house right now. There may be specific books later or books that I recommend that you can get from the library. I'm also going to be creating a resource in Google Classroom that has books that you may go and click on to open and to read together there. And those books will be on different levels. .4, the letter A. That's what we've been working on all week. So now we're on maybe the module you're working in on Thursday. Now let's play a game, the name game. Now we played the name game a couple of lessons ago, so you may remember how to play it. But if you don't, play the directions again and then click begin. Scroll all the way down, click through to the next page. Watch the video to learn how to tell a story with a drawing. Click the download button to download the writing page for this lesson and then complete the page. I bet you can guess that you do not have to download it, that it is in your workbook. You may also just use a paper that you have at the house. It's time to play another game. Here we're going to play the name game again. If you need to, you can see the directions and then you can click begin. Now it's time to read, and you're going to fill out your reading log. Your reading log is in the back of your notebook, and you may choose to read any story with your child. Here we go. Friday's lesson 1.5, letter A. Hands on. A is for air and airplane. Write the letter A and all of the sight words in the air with your finger and fly around while you read them. Test yourself and read each sight word out loud and then click on the word to see if you read it correctly. Today you'll take a quiz on the story that you read this week. Do I remember what I read? Now don't panic. This is the beginning of the year and this will be something that they can do. And you will always have the option of redoing something if you need to. In this lesson, you read a book independently. You read a book independently. It's time to write about it. Click the download button to open your worksheet and then complete the worksheet to tell your favorite part of the story. When you are finished, submit it to your teacher. Again, this is in your notebook. They're going to read about the story that you read this week, the story I See, where they saw all of the things that started with an A. So you might have them draw as many of the things as they can remember that started with an A, and then have them write a sentence. I read words that start with A. All right, you're going to practice your sight words on a worksheet. You can download it here to look at and do on a piece of paper, or you may do it in your workbook. And here's the wrap up. What did I learn this week? Click here to hear the A sound. Watch the video to review. And when you have finished, mark this activity complete. And there you go. This is all of the things that you have done this week. You've done handwriting with the letter A with your sight words. You've done a activity with it. You've told about your favorite part, and you've done a word wrap up. All right, so you can look through and see, did we do all of these things? And if we didn't, maybe click on one and it will take you back to that lesson so that you can double check if you need to. All right. Then up here at the top, submission, you can click this to see. what all you've turned in, or if you have anything that you need to turn in here, you can do submit my work. All right. As you're doing your lessons, one of the lessons will say to schedule a reading assessment time with your teacher. We are working that out still because we want to make sure that we're doing it the same way across the district. So we are not scheduling those meetings yet. Right now, just start with small words. Maybe take the 3 words from the first module, I, see, and big, and see if your child can find those words. Find them in a newspaper, find them in multiple books, find them in a magazine. Do they recognize those 3 words when they see them? You can write them multiple times and put them up around the house so that when they see that word, they read it to you in different places. That's a great refresher or a rememberer for them. All right, I hope that this has helped a great deal. If there are still questions, I am more than happy to help us work those out. But I wanted to let you have this so that you can refer back to it if you need to. Going forward, these same kinds of directions are going to be what you will see in the modules that you will work on even next week. I'm here for you. I am proud of you, and I know that you can do this. You've already taught your children lots of things, so you can handle this too. So let me know if there's a way that I can support you.